What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today the Sega Genesis Flashback. Imagine a console that comes packing nearly 100 built-in games, a cartridge slot on top so you can play stuff from your own collection, and some great upscaling for clean HD graphics. We've seen a system in this style recently with the NES Classic Edition, but the Flashback tries to be different with slight improvements. It has wireless controllers, brings in projects from other places like the Game Gear, and allows you to rewind time if you die to give you another chance. On paper, all these features seem rather fantastic, but does it live up to the promise, or is this just an overpriced toy? Let's start with what's most important, the library of built-in games. I'm scrolling through them real fast so you can get a detailed look while I'm talking, because there is just way too many to list them off one by one. Of course we're getting almost everything from the Sonic series, along with some retro beat-em-ups like Golden Axe, and yet what really piqued my interest here was the selection of RPGs. We can take on the tactical combat of Shining Force or the grand adventure of the Phantasy Stars, but each one seems to play perfectly. Normally these gadgets run on emulation programming, which means that they'll mess up the music or audio will get slowed down. From what I can tell, in all my hours of testing, everything works flawlessly. When I was battling through underground tunnels and Altered Beast and punching mystical dragons, my hero's grunts were exactly as they should be, which is quite a feat. Just as an experiment, I wanted to make completely sure that the sound was okay with cartridges as well, so I plugged in ghouls and ghosts. As soon as that title screen popped up, the famous theme song started, and I could tell that they nailed the emulation. But what about the controllers, you might be asking? Having a game that looks and sounds good is fine, but if you can't play it, then who cares? You can breathe a sigh of relief because the two wireless ones that come with the Flashback are solid. Here we come to the biggest problem I have in this Genesis though. It's only made to work with 6-button gamepads and nothing else. I have a huge collection of Sega hardware obviously, so I tried several of my best controllers and none were recognized. Not even my favorite joystick would do anything, which made kicking butt in Mortal Kombat not nearly as fun. Just in case this was an issue with the menu or something, I actually attempted to go straight into a game and then plugging in my controller, but it still didn't function. That was a disappointment for me, but since the wireless controllers are great, I can kinda get over it. Let's move on to the capability of the cartridge slot itself. Of all the features in this device, this is the part that grabbed my attention first. Since I own hundreds of games, the ability to plop them in and instantly enjoy them at 720p is epic. When they sent me the Flashback, they mentioned that this plays, quote, most Genesis games released. Going through my shelves, I grabbed some random rare titles to experiment with its limits, and surprisingly they all booted up. For some reason, Pure Solar would load and could be seen by the Flashback, but when I hit go, it just showed this red screen. I guess that's due to the fact that this is a third-party project that had a prototype cart, so the console doesn't know what the heck it is. Since that doesn't want to work, let's jump into some Castlevania Bloodlines then. Oh man, this is so good. The action is clean, the music is crisp, and there's zero input lag. If I get killed or walk in the wrong spot, I can hit the rewind button on the controller and skip instantly 6 seconds back. You'll notice a tiny counter in the corner, which is essentially showing you your last motions, but at any time you can resume from there. It's a very useful feature, and yet I think that it'll probably break stuff like puzzle games since you can always fix your mistakes. You can now also instantly create save states so that if you get stuck on an extra hard boss or something, you can come back to that exact moment whenever you like. This is so nice to have when you're playing an RPG and you're wandering around in a maze and you're lost and you have low health. Knowing I can set things down and pick it up later at any moment is great. Due to these cool bonus features, this will definitely be my main machine for retro Sega gaming when it comes to cartridges. The final aspect that I really need to dig into is the fact that I feel like the box claiming to have 85 games is a bit deceptive. While it's true that it does come with some of the most legendary Genesis titles, a chunk of these are pure filler. For example, look at these weird indies. These are not official releases. They're just weird side projects that I think the company grabbed off the internet and used with permission. If I'm buying an $80 console, it's probably not for something like chess. The only one of these that I think is even slightly fun is Bomber, but this is just a clear ripoff of Bomberman, so I can't give it too much credit. The selection we have at our fingertips with the Flashback is solid, but if you're only craving a really specific game like Streets of Rage, you may want to stick with one of the other Sega collections. Overall, there is a ton to love here. Things look and play wonderfully in beautiful HD, the cartridge slot works well, and you just have so much you can do with this device. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's go to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving the Sega Genesis Flashback an 8 out of 10. Being able to review this console a full 2 months before it launches is such a weird feeling. It's like being a time traveler or something, so thank you so much for watching and sharing my videos. If this channel wasn't exploding, I'd never be allowed to make videos like this. It's such an honor. Thank you. I feel like the luckiest guy on the planet, and it's all because of you. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I'm gonna go sneak away and play a little bit more of Sonic 3D Blast. People hate on this game so much, but you know what? I really enjoy it. Oh, hey. I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad, and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.